Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, it's almost the morning. It's 5:19 a.m. And I got up about, well, less than 20 minutes ago because it was after 5 when I got up. And I'm kind of weirdly wide awake. Just like, I got up and I was like, boom. Boo Radley came over to me and he was being so sweet. And then I went downstairs after I got dressed to take them out. And Tucker was nowhere to be found. Like, he just like disappeared right away. And so I took Boo Radley out. I was like, Tucker? And he didn't come. So I thought maybe he went back upstairs with Alex to go back to bed. And so then after Boo was done outside, Tucker came running up the stairs from the basement. And all I could think is that maybe Boo Radley had some extra food left after he ate dinner. And like maybe Alex didn't take up his plate because sometimes we leave it down there if he doesn't finish eating. And Tucker went down there and ate the rest of it. So, anyway, I bought some little Kleenex last night because my nose was running. I have one little Kleenex right here. I turned on the radio and it was Josh Groban, To Where You Are. I don't know if I know that song, but you guys like Josh Groban? I really like Josh Groban. He's not somebody that I typically like listen to on a regular basis or download his music or anything, but whenever I hear his music, I always think that he has kind of a haunting voice that I really like. Okay, two things that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to say that I'm really upset with myself because we got like 5 inches of snow tonight, and it like literally all came down within, like, I would say an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was so pretty, you guys. I mean, it literally looked like blizzard snows outside. And so I went into the backyard, and the dogs were running around in the snow, and it was at night, and you could see because I had the patio light on, and I recorded it for you guys so you could see it. You could see all the snow, and I was like, and it was like falling into my face and all over my coat. I mean, it was like blowing everywhere. It was crazy, right? And the dogs were running around in the snow in the backyard. And just now in the kitchen, I stood there to get the camera ready, and I went through and I deleted it because I thought it was like from something else. I can't believe I deleted it. So that is gone forever. The snow is still out, but I think it's like slowly starting to melt. It's raining now. It's like drizzling outside. And it's 33 degrees. All the snow in the street has melted. And it's just kind of like slushy mush at this point. Still pretty. Tons of snow. But here, I'll show you. You can see. You can see over there or not. But we got tons of snow. I did put some stories earlier on my Instagram story when it just started snowing. I took the dogs out. It was funny because Mel texted me and she said, your Instagram stories are making me cold. Anyway. Now they're playing Martina McBride Valentine. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh. I usually do my PO unboxings over here. On my vlog channel, but today I did it on my Peter Does Stuff channel. I just dedicated like a whole video to me opening all this P.O. Box stuff over there. So, go check that out, because the people were really nice, and like Bonnie and Lynn, hey Bonnie and Lynn, sent me really cool treats, from Australia, and then Megan sent me some stuff from Korea, and Tia sent me this really cool headband, a crystal headband, and I'm trying to think of what else. And some other stuff, so go check it out. It was really nice. I had kind of a slow day today. We knew the snow was coming. We just didn't know when. And they were basically saying that the roads were going to be like they couldn't travel. untravelable. That's not a word. That you couldn't travel on the roads. It was going to be so bad outside. It was really slick earlier, like when it was all like really slushy on the roads, but now it's like, it's just kind of wet. Everything's melted. I mean, it still looks a little slick, but I guess if the temperature dropped, all this could melt, and then it could be real dangerous. But so I got up. Alex was going to go to hot yoga today, but his friend that he was going to go with, she couldn't go. So then he was like, I'm just not going to go. So he just like stayed in bed and he played his game. And like when I woke up, he was playing his game and he was just kind of hanging out in bed. And so he wanted to take these Doc Marten boots back. And I wanted to go and get this Dunkin' Donuts coffee to review. And then I wanted to find this card to do this video on my Peter Mon channel. I wanted one of those big Halloween cards, big Valentine's Day cards, you know, like those big ones. I couldn't find them anywhere. I went to Target. I walked into Target. The line at Target was like too long to check out. I mean, it was literally like wrapped around. I was like, oh, no. I walked into Target and walked right out. Well, I walked in and I looked at the Starbucks cups and then I walked out. Last night, while I was at dinner, I was looking on Etsy and I ordered, I think, 3 new Starbucks cups. I told Alex, I was like, I got 3 new Starbucks cups. He just shook his head. He was like, you were so crazy about the Starbucks cups. There's this one that's like a I keep on saying Halloween. There's this one that's a Hawaii edition. And it's like yellow and has like a green lid. It's kind of like it looks like a pineapple kind of. It's very cool. So I'm excited about that. And then I got a gold cup. And my friend was texting me like pictures of like all of his Starbucks cups. And he's like in this group on Facebook of like Starbucks cups. And he had like this little grande one that was like gold and like the studded tumbler. And I was like, oh my God, I want that so bad for the summer. So I found one left on Etsy and I got it. And I got this other one that was called Oil Slick. It's not like the Oil Slick tumbler, like a studded tumbler or so, but it's just like this. But it's like metal. And it looks really, really cool. I've been using the hell out of these things lately. I've been like washing them and like every single time I use one, I've been washing them, and I'm usually out like, you know, use one for a couple days, and I don't think I don't have another one in here for coffee today. And I usually just like keep one of these. Frank actually sent these to us. He's from Arizona. He sent one for me and one for Alex. And I usually use these for water. So they're always filled with water around the house. And then when they're like they get empty, I just fill them up again. So I always have like a thing of water around the house. But I've been really using my cups lately. So yeah, I went and I did that. I went and did the review at Dunkin' Donuts, which was fun. And then I talked on the phone a little bit. And then I tried to go and find this card. I went there, and then I went to Walgreens, and then I went to CVS. All 3 places I didn't have it. CVS was really, really weird when I went in there, actually. They didn't even have like a Valentine's Day section. Like, it was really small. It was really weird. I was talking to Tanya when I was in there. It was like one row, like not like a whole aisle, but like just like one kind of section, and it had like 6 little things of like Valentine's, you know, for kids for school and stuff. And then it had like 6 things of candy, and that was it. And I went back and I looked at the cards, and it had like a very small section of Valentine's Day cards. I just thought it was weird. I'm wondering if like a lot of these places aren't buying Valentine's Day stuff because of, you know, like people not really doing a lot of stuff because a lot of kids aren't in school, and you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder if that's what it is. It's really crazy when you think about all the different ways. I'm gonna take my hat off, you guys. My head is kind of itching from the hat. It's kind of crazy when you think about all of the ways that consumerism in our world has been affected just in the last year by, you know, like COVID and everything. It's just like unbelievable. It's like every night that I drive around, I see more and more businesses that are closed or are closing or are going out of business. And I wonder how many like businesses at this point are kind of like, if we can just hang on for a little bit longer, if we can just, you know what I mean? Like thinking that we're about to come out of things. Because I hear people saying that a lot, you know? I don't know. It's very sad. Because around here, it's mostly, and I'm not saying that like chain businesses or franchises or anything aren't the same, because they are, you know, there's real people that behind there that own those. But I think it's really sad when it's like a small business, like a local small business. I have so many friends of mine who've like lost their businesses completely. And you think about how they spent their entire lives, you know, saving money and working hard just so that they can have this dream of opening their business, and just like in 1 year it's all gone. So sad. So I did that, and then I came home, and then Alex left. That way we didn't have to like put the dogs in our house and stuff. And he went to the mall to return his shoes to Journeys. He did that. And then he went to Costco and he got like protein drinks and like that smart popcorn stuff that he likes, although he just ordered some from Amazon. And there's certain things like from Amazon Prime that we just order like all the time. We get our dog food through there, and he orders that smart pop stuff. He loves it. And it's so funny that he eats popcorn like that. Like my mom, I've never been like a huge popcorn person. Oh my Lord, all of that water. I mean, like if I go to the movies or something like that, like I was talking the other night, like I love like buttered popcorn at the movies. And I love like caramel popcorn. He loves, what was I listening to? I was just listening to this Rainbow Rowell book, and she said caramel macchiato. I thought it was funny that the narrator said caramel instead of caramel, because whenever I say caramel, because it's like kind of a Midwest thing to say, people always correct me and say it's caramel. All of this melting snow is like all the way out into the street. When I was a kid and my mom would drive through that, she'd say, "We're driving through the lake." Surprised it didn't damage her car back then, but anyway. Like this winter storm warning ends at 9 o'clock tonight. Are we supposed to have more snow? I can't imagine. I just came up there and said that on my thing. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, he'll just like open those bags of popcorn, just like sit there and eat them throughout the day. And like my mom always, and like but it's like healthy popcorn. And my mom did the same thing with microwave popcorn, although she loved butter on her popcorn, so it wasn't just healthy popcorn for her. But like every night I'd be like, "What are you doing, Mom?" And she'd be like, "I just made some microwave popcorn for the movie." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay." Ice cream and popcorn she ate so much of. And Alex loves popcorn too. I'm just not like a huge popcorn person at all. It just would never be my go-to snack. Like if I was at the gas station or something, I would never just get like a bag of popcorn. He loves popcorn. Tanya does too. Tanya makes popcorn all the time. So then he came home, and I was filming a video still and trying to get my videos up and doing some cameos and stuff. And then we were like talking about what we were gonna do tonight. And he's like, I just want to sit and watch TV. He's watching some show on Netflix, and he said it's not very good. He started it, and he's like, it's just kind of weird. It's called Bonding. I don't know anything about it. I was like, do you like it? And he's like, it's kind of weird. So I don't even know if he'll finish it. But then he was like, watching something else too. Well, he's all caught up on his regular TV shows like The Housewives and stuff. So I said, I was like, what do you want to watch? I said, oh, do you want to watch RuPaul's Drag Race? Because we have RuPaul's Drag Race tonight. And he, like, saved from last night. He was like, yeah. And so I said, well, I'm going to get some food from Maggiano's because I am wanting pasta. And I said, do you want anything? And he was like, no. He was like, I don't want Maggiano's. And I was like, well, what do you want, babe? I said, I'll get you whatever you want. Oh, I'll just have a frozen pizza. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'll just have a frozen pizza. I go, okay. I go, I can get you whatever you want. No, I'll just have a frozen pizza. I go, okay. So I went to Maggiano's. I ordered it online. And then I got all kinds of stuff. Fettuccine, and I got a salad. Their chopped salad, they have like amazing salads. They have chopped salad that has like crispy prosciutto on it, but I had the prosciutto taken off. And their salad is so good. The dressing on there is like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like this blue cheese vinaigrette. It's delicious, and it's like lettuce, but it's like finely chopped up, like a chopped salad, and it has avocado in it and all kinds of stuff. It's so good. I don't know if you guys can see the snow, but I just looked over there, and standing back there were 2 deer. Do you see all the snow that we got? Isn't that so pretty? Look, right here down this road is where I came in. I did the cheesecake review, like on that road right there. That goes into like Ritchie Woods, which is this nature preserve. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, there are always deer standing around here when I drive through here. There's usually like 6 or 8 together. There were 2 back there, and they were standing way back. This water tastes so good. This thing that I drive by every night that I wonder what it was, I was asking Tanya, and she said it's the New Humane Society, the Hamilton County Humane Society. She said it's a really nice facility. So I got that, fettuccine, kids macaroni and cheese, double order of the fettuccine in case Alex wanted some, and then, oh my god, the salad, and then I got garlic bread. And then I stopped at the gas station and I got a Dr. Pepper. And so we sat there and watched RuPaul's Drag Race, which was really fun. And then afterwards, I was so tired. By then, it was like almost, it was like 11, 10:30, 11. It was almost 11. It was, I think it was almost 11 actually. And he went back to watching that show. He looked so bored watching that show. Somebody told him to watch it, and he was like, because he started it, like he's like on the 2nd episode or something, because I was sitting there and I was doing stuff on the computer, and he was like, he stopped it and was looking through like trailers of shows. You can sit there on Netflix and look through trailers of shows forever. And I said to him, he was talking about some new show. He was telling Sarah about some new show. My husband, all of his phone conversations are always on speakerphone, so I can hear literally every conversation he has. So I always have to put my 2 cents in too. So anyway, we're going to brunch with Sarah tomorrow at Cafe Pas de Choux, but he was talking about some new show about like a superhero or whatever, and somebody had told him to watch it, so he said he was going to switch to that. He's like, I'm not loving this show. And I said, well, I'm going to lay down for a little bit. And he said, okay. And so I laid down at like 11 o'clock. No, I laid down at 11:15, and I set my alarm for 12:45. I think I reset it because I sat there and looked at my phone for a couple minutes. I think I reset it for 1, and then he came upstairs at like 12:30 to go to bed because I woke up and looked at the clock, and he was like, are you gonna go vlog right now? And I said, I just want to stay in right now while it's snowing and stuff like that. And it had kind of stopped snowing, but I just wanted to be like cozy in bed because it was so comfortable. So I was like, he was like, okay, babe. So when my alarm went off, I snoozed it like twice, and then I just turned it off. And I slept deep. I don't remember any of my dreams or anything, but I slept deep. And then I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. Well, I was like wide awake when I woke up. I probably should be for getting like 6 hours of sleep. So that was my wonderful day. I was asking Alex if he was watching WandaVision, because I see everybody on social media talking about WandaVision this and WandaVision that. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to watch it. I was talking to somebody about watching RuPaul's Drag Race UK. Apparently you have to watch it like on the World of Wonder app or something like that. Like, I want to watch it. I also want to watch the Canadian one, but I don't know how to watch them. So Alex and I were talking about how we could watch those. And then, because we like to have shows that we watch together, but we just watch such different stuff. Like, I like to watch all kind of like thrillers, and I have like 2 or 3 shows. I still want to watch that show with what's her face, Nicole Kidman, The Undoing. I still want to watch that. I still want to finish The Night Stalker, even though I'm not like real into it. I want to watch it. I have like 5 shows on Netflix. Alex finished Schitt's Creek for like, he said something like the sixth time or something like that. He's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna start Schitt's Creek again. And I was like, okay. I do love that show though. Every time he has it on in the background, I just like think it's the best show ever. There is something so endearing. And I was telling a friend about this the other day. Like, I don't even really like sitcoms and stuff like that, but there's just something so endearing about that. Do you hear this slush that I'm driving through? Isn't that crazy? Yeah, this would be bad if it started getting really cold and freezing over. Right now it's not, but I've been having like a hard time too, like sitting there lately and just watching something on TV. I really enjoyed like driving around and listening to audiobooks. I've been listening to, I have read more books this month than I thought I had. I just finished my 16th book and started my 17th book today. I finished the Janet DeLeon book, the last one, book 18, Gators and Garters. So I am completely caught up on the Miss Fortune series. Can you guys believe it? Apparently her next one is coming out in February. And then I'll have read every book that she's written in the Miss Fortune series. She's got another series. I have one of them downloaded. It's called Something at 40. And then this Mudbug series by this city called Mudbug. So I think I'm going to listen to that too. But I actually, today, Bunny, hey Bunny, how are you? Bunny watches my vlog. She also watches my booktube videos too. She had read Rainbow Rowell's. I saw on her Goodreads that she had read Rainbow. I think I saw it on Twitter come up actually. Rainbow, when she had finished it. Rainbow Rowell's. It's like a novella short story, and it's called. It's like longer than a short story, shorter than a novella. Well, I mean, I guess anything gets considered a novella. I mean, it can be 30 pages, but it's called The Prince and the Troll. So I listened to that today. It was really short. It was like 49 minutes or something like that. It was actually really good. It was interesting. It was like a fairy tale, which was really about social commentary of like what's been going on in our world in the last year. But told through the character of this guy that lived on the road, and then this troll that lived under the bridge. And it was really interesting how Rainbow Rowell did it. It was actually quite fantastic. I gave it 4 stars though, because I mean, it was novella, short story, but I listened to that. And then I started tonight, or this afternoon rather, but I just now was listening to a little bit of it when I got in my car. The Janet Ivanovich, Stephanie Plum, the first book in the series, One for the Money. It's okay. I have to tell you, I don't like the narrator yet. Like, I'll either get used to the narrator and I'll really, like, fall in love with her, or hopefully maybe she'll change narrators or something, but, like, well, first of all, I was listening to it at 2x speed, and that was too slow. Because I could, like, she would say, I went to my parents. At my parents, I did this. And it was like, I could hear, like, every sentence, and it was kind of driving me crazy. Like, it has to flow quicker than that for me. So I moved it to 2x5 speed, and it's a little bit better. I mean, I don't like to go any faster, really, than 3x speed on a book. But I don't know how, like, Mel listens to her books at, like, 1x speed, and I'm like, girl, seriously? Like, that is, I don't understand how you would. She's like, well, it's totally normal for me. I looked over there at that, there's, like, this thing in the woods there, where, like, a utility area, and it looked like there was, like, a monster standing there, but it wasn't. It was just, like, this metal stuff. But anyway, I cannot listen to books at 1x speed. It drives me crazy. So I'm going to finish that, and then I'm going to start The Devil's Knot, which apparently nobody likes. Imagine that. The books that I pick for a true crime book club, nobody ever likes. So we're going to, or I'm going to read that next. And then I'm excited about reading it. That case was one that was very intriguing to me, about the West Memphis 3. And I do want to watch the documentaries again. I should have Alex watch the documentaries with me. He does not like, Alex has really no interest in true crime stuff whatsoever. Like, I'll talk to him about the cases, and he's just like, really? Like, I talked to him about, I can remember going to brunch and talking about the Chris Watts case, because the Chris Watts case was just one that, like, I didn't know anything about it going into it, and I just was so completely floored when I read it. I was like, I just can't believe that this, like, is real, and, like, that this happened. Like, I still am just completely floored by it. It's like true evil incarnate, you know? And, so I don't talk to him much about it anymore, because, I mean, he just isn't really that interested. But sometimes I'll, like, share stories with him about what, like, we're reading or whatever, and, you know, I mean, he acts interested because, you know, he's a good husband, so he acts interested. But what's interesting is, like, when I was watching Making of a Murderer, I had watched, this was season 1, I had watched the first episode, and I really was interested into it. I was, like, really into it and watching it. So the next day I had, like, turned on the second episode, and he came and he sat down, like, with his food, whenever it came out, and he was, like, really into it. And I said, it was like, I was like 5 minutes into the show or something like that, or 10 minutes in the show, and I said, let's just go back and watch the first episode, and we'll start watching it together. And he was like, you don't have to do that. And I go, no, like, if you're interested in it, let's go back and watch it, you know, because back in the day, we used to watch, like, series all the way through and stuff like that. And he was like, okay. So we sat there that day. It was like a Saturday or a Sunday or something, and we literally watched the entire season of Making of a Murderer. And he was really into it. I mean, like, we would finish one, and then I'd be like, you want to watch another one? He'd be like, do you? And I'd be like, yeah. So we watched, like, the whole series. It was really fun. That's actually a good series, like a good true crime series to binge. Well, they all are. I think that, The Keepers, and The Keepers and The Stairway are all, like, 3 really good documentaries to binge. Did you guys watch The Stairway? Okay, if you've watched The Stairway and you haven't seen the barn owl theory, you need to get on YouTube and type in The Stairway barn owl theory. I mean, it'll completely throw your mind for, like, what they think might have happened. Because I just watched that, and I just, between you and I, do you ever have just, like, gut feelings about things? Like, when I watched The Keepers, first of all, I wish they would make a sequel to that, because I thought those women that were, like, into well, anyway, this is what I was going to say about Making of a Murderer real quick, just to close that up. When the second one came out, I asked Alex if he wanted to watch it, and he was like, yeah, I'm not really that interested in it. He had, like, no interest in watching the second season. I was actually just reading some stuff the other day about Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey, and I was, like, looking up what happened to Catherine Zellner, the attorney, and apparently she's like still filing motions and stuff like that. But like when I watched The Keepers, I was like, whenever I watch these shows, it's so weird. I almost kind of like have. It stopped. I didn't even know I was anywhere near the end. When I'm watching these shows, I almost kind of have this like gut instinct about like what happened. It's so weird. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It's the same thing when I'm reading like a true crime book or whatever, or just reading like an article or a case about one. When I started watching The Keepers, and I didn't even really read the synopsis or anything about it, I don't think, like, I didn't like look into a whole lot about it before I started watching it. I just knew it was about I don't really remember knowing a whole lot about it. I remember thinking this is going to be boring because it's about some nun that goes missing or something like that. And I thought I'm just not going to be that interested in it. And then I was completely enthralled. I just fell in love with it. And I thought the two women that had been students of that sister or whatever her name was, and it is like really melting over here. I'm kind of like, I'm gonna have to get in this other lane. But I thought like their passion for finding out the truth of what had happened to her, I thought was so inspiring to watch. I was kind of sad that at the end you don't really find out what happened, but like I was like in that first episode and I was like, this is a complete cover-up. I was like, this is like, there's stuff going on here with like the police, and I mean, like back in the day reading like mystery books, which are always about like, you know, precincts that are like 80 to 90% like Catholic police officers who like their family have worked for the police department for, I mean, this kind of like, this is like old school detective story stuff. And, you know, that's probably all based in some kind of truth. This guy is like literally spitting snow all over the road. And, there's a lot more snow and stuff up here than there was back there. But anyway, I just, when I was watching it, I was like, this is a cover-up, and this is scary. This is a scary cover-up, because these women need to be careful, because there are people out there that do not want the truth to come out. And I do believe in certain towns that there is a legacy of police corruption. That's kind of like small, especially like in towns around precincts like that, and I think like in small towns and whatever, you know, where it's like grandfather, son, and they pass down, you know. You read enough about that stuff. If you read enough true crime, you'll know that's the truth. What was I just reading the other day? Oh, like, I mean, it's not just like, you know, nonfiction too. It's like a lot of fiction. It's like it carries that storyline. So you're like, I wonder where that comes from. That Simone St. James Broken Girls, which was so fantastic. Like, that was a lot about police corruption around like kind of Catholicism and all of this stuff at that time. It was interesting. I mean, it didn't come out right out and say that, but that's really what it was about. So I loved The Keepers. But The Stairway, when I watched that show, you guys, I have to tell you, and this is just me, I never once got the impression that that dad did it. Like, I never, like, I watched every episode literally back to back, and I never, this is like really slick over here. I never thought to myself, yeah, like, adamantly, like, this guy did it. Like, I never thought that watching The Stairway. I thought, this is a really weird story. Like, I don't feel like we're getting all the pieces. And, you know, the whole police investigation was so botched up anyway. Like, coming into the house and the way they did it. And the stairway was so weird. And, I mean, there was no motive. Like, that was the thing, watching it. It was like, why would he... They were sitting outside having wine by the pool. And then he goes in and he beats the hell out of her. Like, it just didn't even make sense, you know? And, I don't know, that I didn't feel like he did it. Don't F with Cats, I have to tell you, that was probably one of the best true crime series. That one, like, really kind of scared me. Making of a Murderer scared me when they were talking about the burn pit, the burn pile and stuff like that. I always felt like in Making the Murderer that Stephen Avery had some part in it. Like, I didn't know if I thought that he did everything, but I felt like he had some part in it. I wasn't convinced that Brendan Dassey did. I felt like he was kind of framed a little bit by, like, what, his brother and his dad or something, like whoever it was in the show, I can't remember. But Stephen Avery, I just saw something the other day that said something about his twin sons came out and were speaking about this or whatever. I always kind of felt like, you guys look at this out here, how pretty that is. I always felt, though, like Brendan Dassey had something to do with, or Brendan Dassey, not Brendan Dassey, Stephen Avery had something to do with it. They're just, the whole thing seemed kind of sketchy to me. What are the other true crime documentaries that I've watched? Well, those are the ones that I find interesting, that are about cases that I don't really know a whole lot about. Like, that's what I enjoy watching. I don't really love watching, Don't F with Cats. I wish that had been a 10-part series, because that man and woman that were part of that Facebook group that like solved the case, like, that was so cool to watch, like how they figured all of that stuff out. Like, they were just geniuses. And yet, like, they really weren't. Like, they were just citizen detectives, is that what they call it, I guess? Yeah. Making of a Murderer, not Making of a Murderer, I'll Be Gone in the Dark, the HBO special based on Michelle McNamara's I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. That was good too, but different. I just wish that we would have more of these, like, longer true crime docu-series. Oh, what was the one that I just watched? Murder in Middle Beach. I didn't think that was too bad. I thought that was good. The one thing I don't necessarily love about some of these series is that there doesn't feel, and I know that they can't have it because it's just like, this is the truth of what's going on, but it's like, you guys, my nose is driving me crazy. You guys, look at this, first of all, over here, this wood. Do you see this? How pretty it is? Over here. It's like, look at all this snow, you guys. Murder in Middle Beach, it's like, there was no resolution to it. I wish we would know some kind of resolution to some of these shows, but, like, I mean, it's not like they can do anything about that, right? I actually thought, like, the more I thought about it when I finished it, I was really impressed with Murder in Middle Beach, the way that it was handled. I mean, to do a documentary about your own mother's murder, and to do it, like, that well, and that's, like, your first documentary that you've ever done, I was pretty impressed with that. I'll tell you another one I watched. I don't know where you guys could find this. It's like the Missing Girls of Ohio, or the Lost Girls of Ohio, or something like that. It was like a TV show that was on. It was like one of these documentary series, but every week was a different episode. And I think it was done by the guy that did the Eileen Wuornos documentaries. And is this guy gonna turn? And it was about, like, in this one town, all these girls had gone missing. There had been, like, 10 missing girls in this one area. And it was about, like, heroin and prostitution and all this kind of stuff. It was very, very interesting. It was very sad, but it was really interesting. That was a good documentary. They were forced to shut down that documentary, though. Like, the city, there was, I can't remember what happened, but they showed it on the documentary, but they were forced to stop filming. That was another police corruption thing. it makes you sometimes wonder what they don't want to come out, like what they're afraid of coming out, you know? And I don't really understand why we wouldn't want people to know, like, I don't know. So if you guys have other documentaries that you think I should watch, recommend to me, because I love true crime documentaries. I don't really, here's the thing, I don't love watching true crime documentaries about like Ted Bundy. I could care less if I ever hear anything else about Ted Bundy as long as I live. Like, I'm so bored of him. Like, he just, that whole story, arrogance and ego, and it just goes so far past the horrible things that he did. And I like really can't like listen to any footage of him whatsoever. It just is like, I'm glad that we read the book, Stranger Beside Me, and I did some research at that time into him and stuff like that, so I know about Ted Bundy. I'm just not interested in him at all. I'm not, like, here's the thing, like, I like reading about serial killers, and I like, you know, learning about them, especially ones that I don't really know that much about. Like when we read about John Wayne Gacy, like the Killer Clown book, that was interesting to me because I knew who John Wayne Gacy was and what he had done, but I didn't know the specifics about it. The Zodiac Killer, it was the same way. It was like I knew who the Zodiac Killer was, but I didn't know a lot about him, so it was, or her, so it was interesting. We still don't know, but I think they have decided they think it's a man. So that was interesting to me. You know, it was like, even like the Night Stalker was the same way. Just when I'm done with it, sometimes I just am kind of like, I'm done with it. Like, I don't care anymore about it. It's like, it's hard to read to begin with. Especially when you're talking about all these victims and things like that. And so as far as like watching true crime documentaries, I like to watch things that, like I don't really know anything about. Or like take a small case, you know, and show you like more about what's going on with it. See, the snow up here is not slushy. And this is literally like, what, 20 minutes from my house? This is like packed, hard snow, you can tell. Like by our house, even in the grass, it's slushy. Up here, it's not. It's pretty. Oh, man. I've had a lot of fun reading lately. Like, I'm started this book at home too. Well, I didn't start it yet. I ordered these two books. One I read, they're by Scott Heim, I think. One I read like 20 or 30 years ago. It was called Mysterious Skin. They turned it into a movie. So I ordered it because I didn't think I had a copy of it. And then there's a second one that I ordered that's about this guy and his mom is kind of like, it's kind of like a true crime novel, but it's a fiction. And his mom's like an invalid and she can't leave the bed and she's trying to like solve this case of this kid that goes missing or something like that. And so he helps her, and in helping her, like she physically gets better or something. But it's about like he finds this kid in the, like this basement or something. I don't know, his books are very bizarre, but like he's just a really powerful writer. So I ordered those two and those came from Amazon. And then the Mysterious Skin, is that what it's called? I've been like, it's like sitting in the kitchen. And then I have another book, but I've been here the whole time, that I've kind of like started and stopped. Like I said, I have a hard time just like sitting still. I've had a hard time sitting still lately and just like reading at home, which I think is why graphic novels have been easy for me lately, because it's like I can read like 10 pages of a graphic novel, put it down, 10 pages of you know what I mean? I'm reading one right now. It's actually really good. It's by Alex Sanchez. It's called You Gave Me the Ocean, I think. And it's by Alex Sanchez, who wrote the Rainbow Boys trilogy, which was about all these guys that came out. I read it years ago. It was like the time that I read all of this like LGBT fiction, and because I really never had before. And his Rainbow Boys, it's like Rainbow Boys, Rainbow High, Rainbow something, and they were like Rainbow Finale or Rainbow Life or something, they were recommended, or they won Lambda Awards. And Lambda Awards are the LGBTQIA plus awards they give out for literature every year. Benjamin Alire Sons won also for Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I mean, some fantastic literature wins through there. So anyway, I read these books, and I actually thought, because of the covers, because the covers are real cheesy, I thought they would be so dumb. But they're about these, like, guys that come out, and their stories kind of interlap, and they're friends. They were really fantastic. So he has this graphic novel that just came out last year that he did with this illustrator, and it's called You Gave Me the Ocean or something like that. It's beautifully done. It's about this guy that lives in this desert town, and his best friend wants to go to a local college, and he wants to go away to study marine biology, and so yeah. So I'm reading that right now, that graphic novel, and then those two books I'm kind of like flipping through. Oh, the Diary of Anne Frank too, which I think is called Anne Frank's Diary, the graphic novel. I'm reading that as well. I'm meaning to do this book about it, or this booktube video about it, but I haven't yet. About all of my graphic novels. I have them all sitting out on the kitchen counter. They're like so many, you guys. Like, I have all the ones that I've read, because I was going to show just the ones I have bought, and somebody said, can you show us all the books that you've read too? I was like, okay. So I guess I could do 2 separate videos with that. But I've really been enjoying reading lately, especially I love listening to audiobooks. But I just feel like I've been really blessed. So I read 16 books so far in January, unless I finish the Janet Ivanovich book, and then that'll be 17 books. Or if I finish the graphic novel. But I doubt I will finish either one of those. So that's 16 books for January is pretty good. I think to meet my goal, I have to read like between 8 and 9 books a month to meet my goal. Well, no, because 9 books would be 99. Yeah, like it's like 8.5 books or something that a month to meet my goal of like 102 books, which I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with this year at all, because I'm gonna try to keep on going. But like I looked back over like the books that I read this month, and I was like, you know what? Like I was really, this one book I couldn't remember reading. It was like this misspelled book, and it was like the first book in the Kitchen Witch book. Do you remember me saying I read it? I just was like, it was kind of corny, but whatever. I was like, you know what? I read some really fun stories this month. Like I was really introduced to a lot of different things this month. So even like that book, How to Pack for the End of the World. I mean, I didn't love that book, but it was like I was introduced to some new ideas and some new characters, and that's what I love about reading so many different books. And I just was like, you know what? I was like, I read a lot this month. So I'm kind of really excited for like this summer. I really want to like just use my days fully, and I want to get up and I want to go to the pool, and I want to read by the pool and just hang out and get coffee and, you know, like film videos, listen to audiobooks, watch some great TV shows, hang out, you know, with my husband and like friends, and just, you know, have a relaxing summer. Like I'm really excited about it. I had so much fun last summer. I didn't really realize how much fun I had doing nothing until it was over, and I was kind of sad it was over, honestly. Like I think that was part of what I really struggled with like last fall, and then even when it just started getting kind of like blah, I think I really missed that. Like there was just something every day about waking up and, you know, going to the pool and getting my coffee. And I was actually talking to Alex because I'm thinking about where Tanya has her her like little country club membership. I'm thinking about actually getting a membership there this summer for Alex and I. It's not super I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not super expensive. But then on the days that, like, if we go to the pool and there's just like a ton of people up there, that we could go there. It's like an Olympic-sized pool. It's like really nice. It's like a diving pit. You know, they're open late. They're open till like 7. I'm thinking about doing that. Like, Tanya will be like, just come anytime you want to come with me, but I don't want her to, like, she only has so many, like, guest passes and stuff, you know? So, I don't know. I may check into that to see how much that is for Alex and I. We'll have to see. Especially depending on what the rules are going to be about opening the pool again. Because I think the pool opened late last year. Our pool is considered semi-public because we're like in a neighborhood, even though it's like a private HOA pool. I don't know how it. So like public pools have to like follow under a certain standard for opening, but private pools don't. So private pools, which would be considered like a country club, because Alex was like, do we get the restaurant? I said, it's not that kind of country club, babe. Like, they don't have like restaurant. They have like a concession stand at the pool. He was like, oh, they don't have like a rest. I said, we're not doing a $10,000 country club a year like Woodstock. We don't like need to do all that. I said, it's not about all that. It's like, let's take a cooler to the pool kind of deal. He goes, oh, okay. I go, it's really fun though. He goes, okay. He goes, I'll go, you know. He's so funny. He goes, what kind of food do they have at the concession stand? I go, you're so silly. They have hot dogs, hamburgers, Cokes, that kind of stuff. And so anyway, I love a good concession stand at the pool. Frozen Snicker bars, I love them. But anyway, Tanya always brings a cooler of food anyway, so it doesn't matter. I bring like a bottle of water at my Starbucks, and that's all I need. What was I gonna say? So yeah, I think because they're considered a private pool, they can open like Memorial Day weekend. And if that's the case, then, and ours is gonna be opening July 1st, then I definitely will be doing it. Because it's like 10 minutes from my house, 10 or 15 minutes from my house. Starbucks is on the way, and I can be there, and, you know, I'm excited. It'll be fun. So, I may do that this summer. You know, for so long, this is going to sound, I don't know if this will make sense. I wish this for so many people, I really do. And I don't really know what changed for me. I honestly don't. I always do this kind of like loop-de-loop when I go through here. It's like 8, like what do they call that? But I wish this for everybody, I really do. And it's not like this is how I feel every single day, but I would say many days I feel this way. That, you know, for a long time, I would wake up every single day and I would kind of dread the upcoming day, or, you know, I always looked at all these things like, oh, I have to do this, or oh, I have to do that. And I looked at life with kind of like this pessimism, you know, and just always kind of like the glass is half empty, and, well, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and it just was always, I was so negative all the time, you know. And something changed, and it really changed in the last, I would say, year and a half. But really, I noticed it in the last year, where every day that I woke up, I really had kind of like an excitement for that day. Like the next day, I was just like really excited about the day to come, you know? I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And kind of just like, even just getting excited about like, I mean, when I'm sitting there saying, I'm gonna go to the pool and I'm gonna read some books, it's like, it's not like I'm saying, you know, and I'm gonna travel across Europe, or, you know what I mean? Like, is this thing solidly in here? I can't see. Yeah, I mean, it's not like deep things I'm excited about, you know? It's like getting excited about a new book series. I was so excited. Kenny Rogers, crazy. like, I got so excited about starting the Stephanie Plum book tonight, you know? It's like something that's happened to me in the last year where it's really like, I think through the action of gratitude, of being grateful for all of these small things in my life. It's the small things that really are the things that make up the big pieces of life. And I know it sounds like very trite and cliche, and I say it on here all the time. Like, the reality is, it's the truth. And once I started becoming more appreciative of all of those smaller things in my life, then those were the things that I started looking forward to, you know? Getting into bed at the end of the night with, like, Boo and Tucker and Alex, and in that order. No. You know, like, starting, like, a new book series, because I've fallen in love with that now, or starting a new cozy mystery, or the idea of getting cozy around the house. Or I was looking at my iced tea maker on the go tonight that I did on my video about with David's Teas, and I was like, I need to get on there and see if there's any other teas for sale that would be like good summer teas, you know, because I love that bubblegum tea, and I love the idea of that iced tea on the run kind of deal. I'm so happy I bought that thing. And so it's just small stuff, you know? It's just like the small stuff makes me so happy. And yeah, I just so happy. And now I have this, like, attitude, like, not every morning, like, you know, it takes me some time when I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, what a beautiful day. You know, I mean, it takes me some time in the morning, but it doesn't take me 3 hours, and I don't, like, trudge through the morning like, God, I hate this day and I don't want to be up and blah, 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 whatever. I used to feel like that a lot. Like, a lot. I would say, like, 80 to 90% of my days were very, like, negative, and I just don't even want to be up today, and this sucks, and that sucks, and, you know, oh, God, I have to do this, and I have to do that. It's been gradual, you know, from the point that Alex asked me to work on it 7 years ago or something. It's been gradual. I've worked on it slowly. It's not something that happened overnight. I would say, like, by the time that I was on YouTube, I really didn't even have a lot of that attitude. I had really worked on a lot of that, but I still had some. But I would say, like, in the last year or two, when I've really made a concerted effort in the last year or two to focus directly on gratitude and really growing as a human being and as a person, and really focusing on, you know, trying to, what's that song? Was that a Josh Groban song? You lift me up. Was that it? But no, like, really to lift myself up and try to focus on the positive and what I'm grateful for, and, like, really live from a point of gratitude, you know. Since I've been doing that, it's almost like I look at the world through different eyes, or different glasses, so to speak, you know. And then I wonder, well, if you continue to focus looking at the world through gratitude, love and optimism and hope and peace and serenity, and you continue to work on that, will that only grow? Will that only become, you know, bigger and bigger and bigger? And then, you know, your life will just achieve more. It's like the book, and I didn't read this book, but some of it I did. I have the book and the workbook, I think, that Oprah talked about when she talked about gratitude years ago, and it's called Simple Abundance. And it's about making your life. I've watched that clip on Oprah. Go look it up. Where she talks about simple abundance. She starts bawling, talking about gratitude and how she had no idea. I mean, it's so powerful to watch that when Oprah's like, I had no idea, like, what gratitude could do for my life. Like, it's not just this, like, catchphrase kind of idea, like, we need to all be more grateful for what it is. It's when you live from a state of gratitude in your life, when you are grateful for everything that you have been given, from the car to this water to this sweatshirt to my life, to my sobriety, to my hair, to my eyesight, to my physical health, to being able to walk, to being able to use my hands, to being able to have windshield wipers. I mean, when everything that you do comes from a point of positivity and gratitude, it's hard to live with negativity seeping in, and then it's like you see the world in a completely different way. I don't even really know how to explain it. Because now that I look back, it's crazy to think that I lived a different way. But I did. I definitely lived at a point where I just wasn't grateful for things in my life, and I wasn't happy, joyous, and free. And I stood in the way. It stopped. I knew I was coming near the end, but I didn't know it was at the end. But I stood in the way of that. You know, like I stood in the way of my own happiness and my own ability to be able to be enchanted every single day, you know? It's like, I love these words, like, there's a Linda Berry book, the cartoonist Linda Berry, and the book is, it's about Marlis and Maybon, the two sisters, about the down the street kids, but it's called It's So Magic, and I've always loved the word magic, not from like, let's do magic tricks kind of idea, which I always did want to do magic tricks when I was a kid, but I just love the idea of the word magic. I think because it leads the mind to think that there is more there than it appears, you know? It's like, I like the word enchanted as well, because it almost kind of has this fairy tale quality to it, right? So then I practiced this book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, and I can remember reading the back of it the very first time, and it said like, you know, did you believe in Santa Claus as a kid, or did you see this, or did you think of the Tooth Fairy, and did you think that there were mysteries around the world, and that you looked at the world in this way, like, do you want that again? I remember reading that. I can't remember exactly what it said, obviously, but it was something to that effect. And it was like, do you want that feeling again? And I thought, well, hell yes, I want that feeling again. That magical enchantment, a feeling, you know what I mean? Like, who doesn't want that feeling? And then that was what practicing gratitude was about. I can remember literally reading the back of the book and be like, oh, okay, you guys look over here at this. This is so crazy to me. Just these fields of snow, look at that. So I can remember thinking to myself, oh yeah, so that's what you want us to do. You want us to practice gratitude, and that's gonna make everything magical for us, right? And I did it, and it just like, Alex was just talking to his mom about that last night. He was like, you know, Peter was just practicing that. She was talking about how she wants to start the magic book up again because she had stopped it. And he was like, Peter just was like a different person doing it. And I'm like, do you really think that? And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, when you are in practicing gratitude every single day, which starting Monday, I'm gonna get back to doing a written gratitude list every single day and doing a bunch of stuff. I was starting and then I kind of stopped, but I'm going every single day. I'm gonna have a regimen that I do in the mornings before I start my day. And because I've kind of fallen out of that a little bit. And I'm not going to do it because it'll make my husband happy. I'm going to do it because if he noticed it, it obviously meant that I was, you know, it's such a blessing, isn't it? On just a little bit of work that we have to do. And I want that. I want that feeling for every day for the rest of my life. And I mean, there are going to be days that aren't as great as others, right? But I want to look at those days and be appreciative for the days that are better than those, you know, because we're going to have hard days. We're going to have tragedies that occur. We're going to have days that are not the greatest, right? But that doesn't have to be the condition of our life every single day. And the days that are not like that, we can be super grateful for. So, yeah. It's amazing when that gift is given to you to start looking at the world in a completely different way. Oh, it's flashing. I saw it kind of out of the corner of my eye. The red light is flashing. The red-orange light is flashing, meaning that the battery is dead. So I'm going to end this here now. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. Say hi to my friend Stephanie. And hi, Stephanie. We need to call me. We need to talk. And like my friend Stephanie always, well, she said it once, I think. She said it once. But like my friend Stephanie said, sometimes you can just say goodbye and you don't have to do your 9-minute. Do you guys remember I used to do that 9-minute outro? Oh my gosh. So anyway, not tonight. I love you guys. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.